Good day, readers and listeners, and welcome to another episode of Tom's Rapid Reviews, where each week we take a few minutes to read out a review of a book written by one of our fabulous Surrey Library staff. I give a bit of background and context surrounding the book and its author, and it's all done in the hope that you might be inspired to try reading or listening to something new this week. This week's episode is in recognition of Health Information Week 2022. As a result, I'm going to be doing 3 slightly shorter reviews about books relating to health. Health Information Week is a national campaign to spread information and learning about keeping our bodies and minds healthy to those who need it. They have resources that organisations can use to spread the word, and individuals can access helpful information from these organisations. For example, Guildford Library has a display on the campaign, or you can go to the campaign themselves, who have a social media presence, which will be linked below in the YouTube and Facebook descriptions. In an effort to do our bit, today on Tom's Rapid Reviews we'll be spreading the word about 3 books on health. Spoon-Fed by Tim Spector, Fast Asleep by Dr. Michael Mosley, and Self-Acceptance by Dr. Harry Barry. Our first review comes from staff at Reigate Library. Let's see what they had to say. Spoon-Fed is a book by Tim Spector. In the book, Professor Tim Spector seeks to bust myths about food and dieting, believing that a lot of diet plans, food fads, and even official advice given to the public is often based on bad or non-existent science. The book makes you question what you've been told about your diet and food. What we learn from this book is that you should always question who paid for the research about a given food. There we are then. Spoon-Fed gets Reigate's seal of approval for its critical approach. From what they've said, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. Let's move now to Fast Asleep, another book reviewed by Reigate Library. Fast Asleep, How to Get a Really Good Night's Rest, to give it its full title, is a book by Dr. Michael Mosley, which focuses on the science behind what happens when we sleep, the triggers of common sleep problems, and why standard advice might not work for everyone. It contains a 4-week plan with advice for particular cases, like teenagers or people who work night shifts. In here are some really good tips that actually help. Given what Reigate have said, I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5. Another seal of approval then. Finally, let's turn to Self-Acceptance by Dr. Harry Barry. Published in 2019, the book focuses on mental health, questioning our understanding of the concept of self-esteem and suggesting replacing it with self-acceptance, arguing that rating ourselves on some imagined scale is detrimental and that we'd be better off accepting ourselves holistically for who we are, not seeking to make ourselves into something more worthy, but by realising that we are enough. I read through this one myself and found it interesting and readable, even though it was dealing with some quite involved semantics and going against what many consider to be the established norms of how we think about ourselves. I'd also like to give this book 4 out of 5. Now that we've talked about those 3 books, it's also worth noting that many libraries have a Reading Well collection, which focuses on helping people to be healthier. So do ask about it at your local library. It is also important to remember to speak to your doctor if you want to make any big life changes, and that no one book is a magic bullet to solve all problems. But reading some of these self-help books, and being open to changing your lifestyle can genuinely help. To give you an example, I'm a person with OCD. It's been a challenge for me to manage in the past, to the extent that I once didn't believe I could hold down a job. Thanks to some NHS counselling, the help of medication, and by reading some books which helped me to build up useful mental frameworks, I've been able to make it much more manageable. I hope other people seeing this might too find similar success. That's all from me this week though, readers. Thank you very much, have a healthy week, and I'll see you again soon for another of Tom's Rapid Reviews.